Welcome to part 34 and welcome to the Ice Cavern. Now this will be my only video of this place, so enjoy it while it lasts. And this place is short compared to other dungeons, and for good reason. Anyway, if you've noticed here that there are stalactites that are on the floor, the blue ones, you can smash them with your sword to break them off, and there are also stalactites on the ceiling that will fall off and try to hurt you. Yeah. Anyway, those three enemies right there, those are called freezers. Freezers here will pretty much do what they say. They will freeze you if they breathe their ice breath on you. And I'll let you know, folks, that being frozen is not good because, well, for one thing, it will, while you're frozen, you will still take damage. I mean, there's no way to shake off being frozen because, well, I mean, at least with fire, you can just run and swing your sword, but here, when you're frozen, you can do nothing while health is being taken away. And as you've seen here, using Din's fire on these guys, well, it is not 100% effective because even though some of them are damaged, like some of them take damage that reduces them downwards, they can still freeze you and take more health from you. So yeah. Also, there's a blade trap in this room, and it moves very fast. And also, the floor is icy, so mind your footing. And we see more of these red ice things around. So I wonder if there's a connection between here and King Zora. Anyway, by going down this pathway right here, we will end up in a room that will contain a giant spinning blade thingy. Yeah, a giant spinning blade of death, as it were. Well, yeah, because it'll twirl around the room, and if you get hit by it, it will take away some of your health. So yeah. Anyway, in this room, we will be collecting silver rupees here. Now, silver rupees are necessary in some of the dungeons coming up to open doors to new areas. Yeah, we have a new way of unsealing doors. And basically, these silver rupees can be collected in a number of ways. Some are easy to collect, others are a little bit more difficult. Yeah. And here's another thing. The silver rupees here, you can actually get some money off these silver rupees. Yeah. Each silver rupee you collect is worth 5 rupees. So yeah, they pretty much equal the blue rupees of this game. Yeah, so you get rewarded for collecting and unsealing the doors. And once we get our last silver rupee here, this door will unseal. And of course, it'd be a better idea if you just go with the blade instead of going against it, because at least this way you will not run the risk of getting hurt. And yes, I see a gold skull up there. Don't worry, I'll be coming back to this room, so yeah. Anyway, when we go up this way, we will be introduced to a new version of the keys. Yeah, we have regular keys, we've had fire keys, and in this room coming up, we will have ice keys. Yes, ice keys. Oh, and they are going to be fun. But before we do that, there's another freezer right here that is blocking your pathway. Now again, Din's fire is only partially affected, and even while it's damaged, it can still hurt you. And don't do what I just did. When you hookshot the thing, it will take damage, but do it while it's not blowing wind at you, because if you blow it while it's doing wind at you, you'll still get hurt. And yeah, this place can be a bit of a headache if just for its enemies alone. Anyway, folks, these things above here, the blue things, those are the ice keys. And the ice keys are the most annoying versions of the keys yet. One, well, they are ice keys, and when they touch you, that you'll be frozen just like the freezers. And here's the bad news, folks. When they touch you, you will not, I repeat, you will not douse their iceness, as it were. You know how when fire keys are pretty much, when they hit you with your shield, their flames go away and they turn into regular keys? These do not lose their thing. they're pretty much stuck with their ice powers forever. And that's not good. And then, of course, killing them will be a problem, especially if they're chasing you, and you want to make sure that you don't have them touch you, because, again, while you're frozen, you cannot move an inch, and if you lose, and you can lose health, so, yeah. So what I do is I try and clear all the enemies in this room first before we do our objective here. And, of course, there's also a blade trap here, so you want to mind your footing. Now, I've read somewhere that that there was in the beta version of the Ocarina of Time, there was originally a ice dungeon. Yeah, an ice dungeon. And I heard it never got completed, and elements from that dungeon actually were imported into the ice cavern. And I've also heard or read online that this was like precursor to said ice temple. And, well, I don't know if these rumors are true or not, but, yeah. Anyway, here, Navi will point out that there is this blue fire right here that does not seem natural. An oddly colored fire plus oddly colored ice equals, I think you know where this is leading to, folks. Yeah. Well, first things first, I had to make sure all enemies are gone before I attempted this little theory. Come here, you little... There you go. Die. I hate ice keys. Anyway, folks, now what we're going to do here is we need to empty one of our bottles in order to catch this blue fire. Yeah, we're going to have to sacrifice some of my health items. Oh well, I can restock later. Anyway, take an empty bottle and bottle up some of this blue fire, and we will put it to the test on this red ice here covering a treasure chest. And of course, mind your footing. Make sure you don't fall off. And that red ice covering that pot right there, that has a fairy in it. Although I probably don't need a fairy at this point, seeing that this dungeon is short. Well, that's technically an inaccurate saying. I mean, it is a dungeon, but it is a mini dungeon. Yeah. Anyway, folks, we get the dungeon map, so yay, we can see where the rooms are again. Okay, I have seen this information before. Ugh, too bad there's no... We've seen this before. Move on. Thank you. Alright. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and ball some more of this blue fire because if you noticed in that spinning blade of doom room... yeah. Basically, there are red walls. Yeah, reddish ice walls there. And again, we can use this blue fire here to melt them, and we will continue onward to our next destination. So what I would do here is get at least 2 bottles worth, or at the very least bottle one of them with bottle 1 with blue fire, because one room that we are going to go to will contain an additional supply of blue fire. So, at the very least, grab 1 bottle so we can continue onward from here. And of course, I had to use my other fairy. Yeah. Hey, but I still have 2 blue potions to heal myself. I'm not gonna die. I am not going to die. Alright, going back this way. Of course, we will reach the room with the freezer who has respawned. Ugh. Don't you hate respawning annoying enemies? Now here's a nice trick that you saw me do earlier, but failed miserably as I got frozen. the thing to do is position yourself right here where the freezer is. Of course, mind the blade traps because they can be such an annoyance. Wait for the freezer to finish blowing. Pull yourself over. You'll damage it while you pull yourself over with the hook shot. And then afterwards, you can just pretty much slash it to death. Alright, here's the spinning blade room. Again, there are two reddish walls in the area. One to the left, the other to the right. And what you want to do here is first go to the one on the left as you exit the room with the dungeon. But beforehand, let's go ahead and get that gold skulltula that I was waiting for. Yeah, it's a good idea to always have Navi Z targeted, so somehow Link can magically point beyond his first-person view range. But it works. It works. Alright, again, mind the spinning blades so you don't take damage. And again, we're going to go for that room right there that I can see. But at first what I decided to do was went ahead and I melted both doors because, well, both walls because, well, I have blue fire. It's like I want to have both pathways open, you know, just in case. Now this pathway we will go to eventually. I mean, it's the way we need to go in order to finish this mini dungeon, but we're going to make a little pit stop over at the other way because it will contain some other items, especially one of great value. So, how does blue fire melt red ice? That I don't understand it. I'm just going to attribute it to being a magical land or something like that. Because Hyrule is a magical land and all that. Anyway, in this room here, there are stalactites on the floor, there are stalactites in the ceiling, and there are keys in here. Regular keys. Now, mind your footing. Be careful where you move, because if the keys start flapping around, they will eventually head towards the blue flame. And if they touch the blue flame for some reason or another, they will turn into ice keys. So, blue fire turns them into ice keys. Again, magical land? A wizard did it? Something? I don't know. Yeah. Anyway, this red ice here has another treasure chest, and we're going to get that in a minute. And of course, there's one more remaining keys right here. Shoot it. There. Now we're going to take some empty bottles and melt some red ice. Alright, inside this treasure chest right here, it's a big one, and it will probably contain the compass. In fact, it does contain the compass. So, now we know the locations of all treasure chests in this mini dungeon. I like to point out, mini dungeon. And of course, the reason it's called a mini dungeon is because, well, it would be like considered half a dungeon, I guess, because the goal of mini dungeons are to pretty much have Link journey through them, solve puzzles like a normal dungeon, have Link face a mini boss, and after facing said mini boss, getting the dungeon item, and after you get the dungeon item, you just leave. Yeah, no collecting the boss key, no being a big bad boss. Anyway, this red ice contains a heart piece, and I believe it's the first time in any Zelda game that a heart piece is inside a dungeon itself. Well, a mini dungeon, but yeah. Anyway, folks, got a heart piece. Hooray, everything's alright. And now collect some blue fire for the road. And before we leave this room completely, there is another Gold Skulltula. It's located in the exact area where we got the heart piece, only more to the to the right of the heart piece location if you were facing the wall. So yeah, just grab the token and get out. And I like to point out the fact that this mini dungeon here, this is not the only mini dungeon here. In fact, there will be another mini dungeon that I will explore to get another item. And these items that we're getting in the mini dungeon, they are going to be important for the big main dungeon that will be coming up. So yeah, basically mini dungeons serve as somewhat preludes to what's coming up. But of course, there is no ice dungeon in this game. There is a temple with water in it. And what kind of item in this area will require us to get to explore the water temple? Anyway, in this room we are faced with a challenge of getting more silver rupees and using this ice block right here to help get them. Now, first things first, folks, kill the ice keys. They can be real troubling, especially when they touch you and you freeze. I'm trying to run away, getting some distance between them. There's one more right there. Of course, I wasn't fast enough. Ow. See, look how much damage it takes when I'm frozen. Yeah, that's kind of lame. Oh, not even one heart can compensate that much damage the keys did to me. Anyway, there is another Gold Skulltula to collect right here along the wall. So, you know what to do. And that is the last Gold Skulltula in this mini dungeon. Because, yeah, it's short. We'll be done soon. Hooray. Alright. Now, this thing here is, again, we have to collect silver rupees, and we need this ice block to reach them. Now, of course, when you push along this ice block here, the momentum of the ice will force it forward until it gets stopped by these pillars in the room. And of course, it requires us to like mind your surroundings, mind the pillars to make sure you are pushing them in the proper direction. And of course, if you push it forward, you can collect this silver rupee right off the bat. And let's see which direction to push it next, because I mean, I can already see one silver rupee I can get without the ice blocking. There's that one right there, but we're gonna wait for a bit. Anyway, folks, the thing about this ice block puzzle is that if you push the ice block in a certain direction and you find you can no longer push it in the way you want to push it, there are 4 corners in this room, and if you push the ice block in one of these 4 corners, it will fall down into the abyss, and a new ice block will spawn at the beginning point. So it's good to keep that in mind. And this music here really gives that whole wintry, chilly feeling here. Especially that wind and all that stuff. Like, And of course, one of the silver rupees is in black ice. Not black. Why am I thinking black ice? Red ice. And we need one of the 2 blue flames that we've collected to get it. And it's only then I realized that there's a silver rupee right there. Oh, if you look closely up to the upper left area for a moment, there are red rupees up there that are worth 20 rupees each. And I will be getting those, and I will show you how to get those. So yeah, all in all, this block puzzle is easy. It's just knowing where to position yourself, knowing what kind of patterns you should follow, and we should get this done no problem. And see how this ice cavern is. See how short it is. There's only one floor. I believe this is the first 3D Zelda game that has only a dungeon of one floor. I mean, it's just less than a child's dungeon. I mean, it's just a little less than one of Child Link's dungeons. I mean, yeah. You know, I was considering speeding this footage up because, well, you're pretty much seeing what I'm doing right now, but I figured I'd keep it at normal pace and try to explain what I'm doing because, well, it can be a little frustrating for some people to not know where they're going, so, yeah. Anyway, of course, this should be our last silver rupee right here, and once we get said silver rupee, the door will unseal. Of course, be careful. You don't want to fall into the abyss yourself. And it will reset us in this room with Ice Keys back and as nasty as ever. And of course, I mean, icy floor won't help. I mean, I hate ice in general. I mean, in real life, I hate ice because it's so slippery. One wrong step, you will fall down. You might even break something. And, yeah. Anyway, what I'm doing right now is I am moving the ice blocks so that I can get up to this ledge where the blue fire is because I am going to restock on some. And what I am going to do is I'm going to use one of my blue potion bottles. Yeah. Because I want to fill at least 3 bottles of blue fire before leaving. Well, 1 I will use in this very dungeon to unblock a pathway, and 2 is to use inside one is to use inside Zora's domain with King Zora, and there is another area that contains that red ice wall, and that's the shop. So I'm going to unfreeze both the shop and King Zora when I leave here. Alright, see where Navi is floating and turning green? That's a little hint to whip out the Ocarina, and since Navi's floating in mid-air and not along the ground, we cannot summon Pierre. So instead, play the Song of Time. And it will make a couple of time blocks appear for us to climb and to reach those silver rupee. Not red rupees. Bleh. Can't talk. I'm confusing things. Why am I confusing things? And notice how the time blocks are different sizes. That's odd. That is real odd. Anyway, goody. Now I'm going to reset the block puzzle so that I would make a pathway to the door over there. And it's very easy to make a pathway. We're pretty much going to do the same thing we did to get the last rupee, but instead of pushing forward to move the ice block to the ledge where the blue fire is, we are going to move it a certain way so that we can get it to the door. Basically, go this way. And this way. Again, careful. Ice, slippy. You can break something. You can slip and slide. Alright, push the block this way. And this time, push it downward this way. And last but not least, push it this way towards the ledge, and we can climb on top and continue onward. And this mini dungeon does not have a door. There are no doors in this place at all. There's just one cave going to another cave, and that's always nice. Again, there's another freezer in the area. Again, use the hook shot to grapple to it, which will damage it and pull you towards it for more damage. Again, be careful, there are falling stalactites, so I believe they respawn too, like reappear themselves after a time. Alright, and there's one more goodie. See, I'm not going to get frozen by these things again. I'm tired of being frozen. In fact, I'm tired of this place. Oh, speaking of frozen and cold, Link's animation, if you do not move him for a while, it will actually have him shivering and holding his arms and shoulders and stuff. And I like that attention to detail. Just like how Link was wiping his forehead full of sweat in the fire temple. So yeah. So we went from one extreme element to another extreme element in a very short time. That's odd. Anyway, here we are. We are going to use the blue fire on this red ice here. And we want to melt enough of the red ice so that we will create a path for us to go through that door. In fact, it's the only door in this entire dungeon, in this mini dungeon. And this door will lead us straight to the mini boss room. And the mini boss here is a white Wolfos. And he looks bigger, he's all white, and he's not much of a threat. Yeah, pretty much like his smaller cousins, he can be easily defeated. One swipe, back turn, double jumps, jump attack, dead. No problem. Anyway, we are rewarded with the mini dungeon's treasure, and the mini dungeon's treasure... Oh goody, iron boots, woohoo! Oh, and there's a Sheik. So the Serenade of Water, huh? Which will get us to Lake Hylia quicker. And of course, Sheik here will do his ninja vanishing move. So yeah. So the reason the Zoras are all frozen is the monster at Lake Hylia is pretty much wreaking havoc thanks to Ganondorf. Goody. And he managed to free Princess Ruto from under the ice, and she's going there to the water temple to stop the monster. So we now know our next destination. Anyway, down here, jump into the water with your iron boots, and we can walk along the water, but we cannot breathe. Yeah, unfortunately, it doesn't allow us to breathe. Gee, I wonder where are we going to use these iron boots? Perhaps the aforementioned water temple? Yep, that'll be our next destination coming up. And now we are done with the ice cavern. We do not have to come back to it because I have all that I need. And yeah, so in part 35 coming up. I will free King Zora, and I will also complete the Bigoron trading sequence so I can get my fancy smancy brand new big sword, the most powerful sword in the game. See ya then.